all right. Yeah, we're always babies, honey, though it never ends.
So I'll do my bat mitzvah on the 13th year, so I'll be in my 50s then.
There you go. Daddy, there you go.
I think I'll be ready.
Yeah. If I had done, I don't think I do. Wait a minute, did I? Oh no, that's too much math right now.
Too much math.
I had my bat mitzvah 2012.
Oh wow.
So that was 10 years ago.
So as an adult too.
Yeah. Yes, that was 10 years ago. I was 60. Yeah. So you might see.
Yeah, there you go.
Everybody's got time.
Everybody's got their
You're really
pace.
already a bat mitzvah.
I would
You
say,
really
right.
are.
So when you recommend, like, go to the, getting place to sell guitars and cut off, or what's your, like, how would you, guitar set, and they have also, but they have also tools, right? Like teachers. What's that, there was a whole this shop, school run, but there was close, like, it's kind of weird, like, I never understood. There's new apps now that follow, the person from the heart. Well, I want to be a man. Before we, I'm gonna sign a contract. I want to give them whatever they want. I wanted to learn guitar so bad. Thank you.
Oh, you don't have to get quiet yet. There's still at least 2 minutes.
You like the cold weather?
I do.
Yeah.
I've never become a true Texan as far as like summer. I think summer is loathsome here. It's just so
It's
hot.
pretty severe here.
It's unbearable. Unbearable. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Normally, I would delay a little bit for other Jews, but the camera sort of requires that we do it on time. So I am a slave to technology like the rest of us. So we're going to begin our Shabbat service with a little nigun, a little wordless melody to get us started, put us in the mood. And I invite you, as soon as you got it figured out, to join in. We are delighted to have, is it United Methodists of Flower Mound here with us. So we're glad you've come to join us.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la.
Well, we here at Kol Ami, we like to start out by emphasizing community, something that I think is even more important as we head into what seems to be the post-pandemic era. So we like to check in and find out what good and blessing is happening in people's lives. Anything you want to report for the last 6 or 7 days, you're welcome. Have you discovered a new restaurant? Has your plumbing been fixed? Anything that makes you feel good. I'm going to start off with a couple of things we know. We know that David and Mai Gang Atkin are celebrating their anniversary, so we want to give them a well wish. And then we also have the birthdays of Sherry Berman, Geneva Holmes, our own inimitable Misty Deutsch, the woman behind the curtain, controlling our electronics, and Dr. Amanda Levin-Russo. All right, so that's things we know about. What can you share with us that has been a good and blessing in your life in the past week? Anybody have anything to report? No, no. Oh, come on, something wonderful must have happened to you. Right? No, you're gonna hold.
Take guitar lessons.
Oh, fantastic! You know, one of my great failings was never really coming to properly understand music. So this is great. I hope you enjoy it. Who else has a good and blessing to report? Emily. I'm sorry, say again? See, it just had a simple blessing of a visitation from family, friends. That's the kind of thing it's the little things that are cumulative that make our lives better that we're grateful for. Robin?
My mom came to visit.
She did.
But she's somewhere else right now. But
Right.
my mom and my sister came to visit and we're having a fun time.
None.
We discovered the Dillard's Clearance Center.
Ah, okay.
Ask me about it.
No, at Oneg, please. Dillard's, we need to know. Yes, Sue.
It's a sprain and not a break.
Yay! Yes, minimizing things is a good experience. It's a relief. So, anybody else have a good and blessing to share with us? Nothing. Nothing? Go ahead.
My husband got a new job.
Your husband got a new job. There we go. See, these are the wonderful things. I'm just enjoying the weather. I've been dreaming about this weather for 6 months.
Wow.
6 relentless, hotter and hottest months. And finally, I mean, that's my saying, what is it about fall in Texas? Nothing. It's absolutely nothing. Nothing happens, nothing changes. Now we're there. So I'm excited. Got my turtleneck on. I've been waiting to wear this turtleneck for some time, so I'm very excited. All right, well, now that we have a little bit of an idea of what's happening with each other, I'm going to invite Joanne Barnes to kindle lights of Shabbat, and we're going to be on page number 1. Especially for our visitors, I'll try and shout out page numbers so that you know what's going on. Yes, no, that's service number. There we go.
In the beginning, when the Spirit of God hovered over the darkness, God's first creation was light. As we kindle these Shabbat lights, we attest to the majesty of God's work and rejoice in its beauty. Light is a symbol of divinity and creative goodness. It is the outward sign of that inner spark which God has granted each of us. In hope and with love, we now welcome Shabbat with light. One way or another. Baruch atah Adonai, sorry. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotah, v'tzivanu lahadli ner shel Shabbat. Praised are you, Adonai, whose presence fills the world, who hallows us with mitzvot and inspires us to kindle Shabbat lights.
May God bless us with Shabbat joy. May God bless us with Shabbat holiness.
May God bless us with Shabbat peace. Amen.
We're going to begin our Kabbalat Shabbat, the welcoming of the Sabbath. We're going to begin in English on Psalm 95 on page 2. Please read with me responsively. Come, let us sing joyously to Adonai and raise a shout for our rock and our deliverer. Come, let us enter God's presence with praise, and let us raise a shout for God in song. For Adonai is supreme, the sovereign over all beings. We're going to go on to Psalm 97, or Zeruach, and we're going to be singing lines from that.
Or Zeruach LaTzadik u'lishrei lev simcha. Or Zeruach LaTzadik u'lishrei lev simcha. Or Zeruach LaTzadik u'lishrei lev simcha. U'lishrei lev simcha. O Zeruach LaTzadik u'lishrei lev simcha, u'lishrei lev simcha. La 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 la
Turn to page 6, Psalm 29. Havu l'Adonai b'nei elim, havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, havu l'Adonai kevod shemo, ishtachavu l'Adonai b'hadrat kodesh. Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Ascribe to Adonai, you children of God. Ascribe to Adonai glory and strength. Ascribe to Adonai the glory of God's name, and worship Adonai in the beauty of holiness. May Adonai give strength to this people. May Adonai bless this people with peace. We close out our Kabbalat Shabbat with the singing of the medieval mystical hymn, Lecha Dodi. For our visitors, be aware that when we hit the final stanza, we're all going to stand up, and we're going to turn towards the door, and we're going to welcome the Sabbath coming through the door. So, Lecha Dodi, page 7.
Lecha dodi likachela, pnei Shabbat nekavela. 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 Shamor וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד הוא שמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, יזמור חברה, מראש מקדם נשואה, סוף מעשה ומחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי לאורך קומי הורי, אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלך יגנילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. מוהי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובתוך עולה, תוך אמונם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
So come in peace, you crown of your husband, with rejoicing and with joy, to those who are faithful, a treasured people. Come, O Shabbat, come, O bride. We're going to do our psalm for the Sabbath, Psalm 92, a song for Shabbat. Together, it is good to give thanks to Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak and your faithfulness each night, with a harp, with voice and lyre in unison. Sadik katama yifrach v'kerez Lebanon yizgeh, and the righteous they shall bloom like a palm, they shall thrive like a cedar in Lebanon. We continue now with the Hatzi Kaddish on page 9.
יתקדע ויתקדע שמי רבה, בעלמא דברך חיותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל. בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירם בעלמא, ואמרו אמן.
Whether you're able to rise in body or rise in spirit, we ask you to please rise for the Baruch Hu on page 10.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach, hamevorach leolam vaed. Hamevorach, hamevorach leolam vaed.
We continue with Ma'ariv Aravim, acknowledging God's constancy in the universe. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim, v'chokhma poteach sha'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umseder et hakokavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirotzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei hoshech, v'hoshech mipnei or. Umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai mavdil ben yom uvein laila, forgive me, Adonai tziva'ot shemo, El Chai v'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Ha'ma'ariv Aravim. May God govern us always to the end of time. Praised are you, Adonai, who makes this evening fall. And unending is your love for your people, the house of Israel. Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts you have taught us. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and rejoice in your Torah and mitzvot forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life and the length of our days. And then your love shall never depart from our hearts. Blessed is Adonai, who loves the people Israel.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated, and we continue on page 13 with the V'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך וכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם. אני אדוני אלוהיהם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Emet ve'emunah. True and enduring, beloved and precious, awesome, good, and beautiful is this eternal teaching. This truth we hold to be forever certain. Adonai is our ruler, the rock of Jacob, shield of our salvation. Adonai our God, you redeemed us from captivity in Egypt. You set us free from the house of bondage. For this, the people who felt your love sang songs of praise to you, living God, high and exalted, mighty and awesome, who humbles the proud, raises the lowly, who frees the captive and redeems the oppressed, who is the answer to all who cry out. All praise to God Most High, the source of blessing. Like Moses and Israel, we sing this song of rejoicing. Micha Mocha, ladies and gentlemen, page 15.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש, נורא תהילו עושה פלא, נורא תהילו עושה פלא.
When your children saw your might at the shore of the sea, this is my God, they proclaimed, Adonai shall reign forever. We turn now for a prayer for the end of the day. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'halmidenu malchalkenu l'chaim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Grant this night that we lie down in peace, Adonai our God, and raise us up tomorrow to a life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace and guide us with your good counsel. And for your name's sake, be our help. Shield us from hatred and plague. Keep us from war, famine, and anguish. Subdue our inclination to evil. O God, our guardian and helper, our gracious and merciful sovereign, give us refuge in the shadow of your wings. O guard our coming and our going, that always we have life and peace. We praise you, O God, whose sukkah of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai haforeh sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. We come to the next part of our service, tefillah. We ask, if able, please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor Hanora, El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Hastei Avot Ve'imahot, U'mevig Yolam Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Ve'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atah Rav L'Hoshia, Mechalkel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechayeh HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somek Noflim B'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishemei Afar, Nichamocha B'Gevurot, Uvidom Elah, Melech Menit Umechayeh, Umatzliach Yeshua, V'ne'eman natan lechayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yechaluka selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. We turn now to page 21 and Vishamru, our song for the Sabbath. The children of Israel shall keep the Shabbat, observing the Shabbat in every generation as an eternal covenant. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, בני ישראל, oti leolam v'shamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש שבת ויהי נפש שבת ויהי נפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We continue with Reitzei on page 22. Reitzei Adonai Eloheinu ba'amcha Yisrael utefilatam ba'ahava tikabel utehi ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Adonai our God, show favor towards your people Israel and lovingly receive our prayers. May the worship of your people always be acceptable to you, for you alone do we hold in reverence. Modim. And we give thanks to you, Adonai, our God and God of our ancestors. You are the rock of our lives, the shield of our salvation for all generations. So we thank you and we recite your praises. Let all the living affirm you and praise your name as the God of our salvation and help. Praised are you, Adonai. Goodness is your name. All praises to you. We're going to close out now with a prayer for peace, Shalom Rav, on page 23. And then we're going to take a few moments for our own silent prayers, offerings, and reflections.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
November. It seems like a lot of nice things going on in November. First of all, the temperature has dropped, and that's great. And second of all, there seems to be a subsiding of the weekly, every other day outburst of something anti-Semitic from somebody. I figure that the fury and the excitement of the election has just distracted people, and all those anti-Semitic thoughts have just sort of gone under it all. Look, we are here at the confluence of a number of interesting forces here. I've been teaching at the University of North Texas now for 22 years, 20 if you recognize the pandemic sort of took me out of circulation during that time, but for 22 overall years. And a frequent conversation I would have with a colleague there was about the nature of anti-Semitism and anti-Semites. And he loved to say, if an anti-Semite tells you he intends to do something, believe him. And this was normally something that came up in relationship to, the latest proclamation from Iran that they planned to wipe the state of Israel off the face of the map and this sort of thing. And I would say, I think there is some truth to that, and we would go on to debate exactly what that would mean. It's a point worth considering, though, since, in fact, the past month has been a difficult one with unprecedented numbers of anti-Semitic outbursts, some from celebrities, some from politicians, more than we're used to, certainly. And I think about that statement, if an anti-Semite tells you that he intends to do something, believe him, especially in light of 2 days ago, which was the anniversary of Kristallnacht. All right, Kristallnacht always comes in November. And for those not so familiar with this is the day that Jews have chosen to designate as the beginning of the Holocaust. There are a number of ways we could have selected: the invasion of Poland, a couple of other events that were really pivotal for the murder of Jews in Europe, but we've identified with Kristallnacht. Well, what it was a organized pogrom, a government-organized riot directed against the Jews of Germany by the Nazi Party, by their SA paramilitary organization and their SS military organization, with some participation from Hitler Youth and general German civilians throughout Nazi Germany. On November 9th and 10th of 1938, 7,000 Jewish businesses were pillaged and trashed. 1,300 Jewish synagogues were burned. Thousands of Jews were arrested and sent, at least temporarily, to concentration camps. And all the while, the German authorities, the police, the fire department looked on without intervening through any of this. So we rightly remember it as a moment that signals truly virulent anti-Semitism come to realization. They said what they were going to do, and they did it. Now, I think in light of this, of my first Bible teacher, Rabbi David Shore. Rabbi Shore was a student at the time of all of this. He was a student rabbi. And he's a veteran, which reminds us of the fact that it's also Veterans Day. He served as a chaplain for the U.S. Air Corps, the 8th Army Air Corps that was in England and was conducting the bombing campaign over Germany. But in 1938, at about the same time that Kristallnacht was being executed, he was a student and he was sent by his parents to check on his family in Czechoslovakia. a country that had just been divided up, and much of it, including the population that Rabbi Shor's family belonged to, had been given over to Nazi Germany. And so he traveled to see how they were doing, and their response was, oh yes, it's bad, but we're sure it will pass. This will not be anything too terrible. And of course, they were wrong. If an anti-Semite tells you he intends to do something, believe him. Now, Kristallnacht is followed very shortly, tonight even, by the Veterans Day here in the United States of America. And we think very gratefully of all of our veterans, all those who died, all those who've served, all the men and women who keep our nation secure. But I think Jews can't help but think of the armies just a few years after 1938 that ended the Nazi regime of terror and that liberated concentration camps throughout Germany. We particularly think of those liberators, the divisions that captured those German concentration camps. I want to name them. The 3rd Infantry Division, the 4th Infantry Division, the 6th Infantry and 10th Infantry Division, the 11th, 12th, 14th, and 20th Armored Divisions, and the 4th and the 8th and the 101st and the 42nd and the 45th and the 80th and the 89th and the 90th and the 90th and 99th and the 103rd Infantry Divisions. Each one of them liberated a camp in Germany. And realize that seems like a long number, a list of so many camps, but in fact we now know by recent study that there were as many as 4,000 death camps, concentration camps, forced labor camps, transit camps scattered throughout Europe during the Nazi regime. But we also have learned since that time, as grateful as we are for the soldiers and the sailors and the service people who helped defend, help liberate the world and defend our country, we've also learned that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. That we can hopefully avoid violence if we intervene early enough, if we assume that anti-Semites actually intend to do what they say, and so immediately hold them up to the light, hold them to account before they get a chance to act on their intentions. And so now we've learned, since World War II, to speak up. Now we immediately summon our allies. Now we go to the media and we insist that anti-Semitic remarks be taken seriously before they become more serious. And I think as a general rule, it works. It's uncomfortable speaking up, especially in a country as divided as we are, especially when we encounter someone who perhaps is of an ethnicity or a position in society where they are celebrated for other reasons. We don't want to smear people, we don't want to shame people, but we feel the necessity of speaking up. And I think there is a benefit to that. Before things become serious, it works. They learn that there are consequences to attacking the Jewish people, even before the stage of violence has been reached. Of course, Jewish responses always vary. We never speak with one voice. There are, in fact, I would say, two ways that Jews generally perceive responding to people who are angry, belligerent, and violent. And some Jews would like to act as if the world is already redeemed. And it's an incredibly noble way to approach the world. They model themselves on the world we want. They choose to be pacifists, vegetarians, radical communitarians. They try and bend the world to the Jewish vision of the peaceable kingdom, and that is a very noble ideology. But I think the majority of Jews recognize that the world is unredeemed, and we act accordingly. We advocate for peace, but we ready ourselves for a fight. We've learned that passivity is not enough. We need to remember that, in fact, among those many American divisions, that many of the veterans who liberated the camps were themselves Jewish soldiers who took up arms and on behalf of beleaguered Europe and the beleaguered Jewish people. We are reminded by their example that, unfortunately, sometimes force, even violent, brutal force, may be necessary to overcome the evil of violent people, of racists and anti-Semitites who seemingly, inevitably act on their intentions. We've learned, sadly, that we have to speak up soon and we have to speak up early, and that we need to fight back when necessary. Sometimes the only effective way to resist tyranny, oppression, and genocide. I think about those conversations I had with that professor where he always would say, if an anti-Semite tells you he intends to do something, believe him. And eventually, thinking about it, I said, yes, but the equation has changed. Because now, an anti-Semite knows that the Jews may hit back. That a country like Iran can talk about wiping Israel off the map, but now Israel is a Jewish army. There was no Jewish army in World War II. Jews did not have a country in World War II, and now we do. And we, in turn, have learned from the Israelis that we sometimes have to stand up for ourselves early and frequently in order to ensure the safety of everybody. I hope we are all deeply grateful to all of the veterans who have made the sacrifices in all of our wars to protect us and to secure us in our homeland. But we also need to think of all the Jews with gratitude who have stood up for themselves and for their fellow Jews. And may their memories be for a blessing. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So, do we have an officer doing announcements? We do. Molly, our Vice President of Ritual. Thank you, Molly.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, good, there's a pencil here. So I don't forget. Okay. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And welcome to our Methodist friends. Thanks for coming. Okay, so announcements. This is really weird. Tree trimming this Sunday.
Nothing to do with Christmas. It's just trimming the trees.
I know, but it
Sometimes
seems
trimming the trees is just trimming the trees.
just seems weird saying that, you know. Tree trimming this Sunday. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. But you're weird. Okay. We want to cut back the tree between the portable and the main building. That's over here, the annex in the main building. And we'll be starting at about 9:00 a.m. during religious school on this Sunday. It doesn't say this Sunday. Well, we're not expecting to need a chainsaw. If anyone has one, please bring it. If you have them, you may want to bring loppers and gloves as well. And if you can help out and join us, we'd appreciate your assistance greatly. I would assume, this Sunday. The office closing for Thanksgiving. The office will be closed Thursday and Friday, November 24th and 25th, in observance of Thanksgiving. We will still have services on that Friday evening at a normal time. And if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to Bob in the office. Rough Riders and Dallas Stars. The Rough Riders are offering group tickets to us, and the Dallas Stars are sponsoring Jewish Community Night again this year. You can purchase your tickets now, your Stars ticket now. We are gauging interest in setting up a group outing for the Rough Riders. And if you are interested in attending a baseball game as a group, please RSVP on the website where you can find anything and everything. You will find the link to purchase tickets for the Stars Jewish Community Night as well. 20% off at the gift shop. Don't forget to drop by and check out the sale going on in the gift shop through December 18th. Everything is 20% off. That's good. The prices are competitive with Amazon, and your purchases to help support our sisterhood. Pop in, see Betty, and have a great gift, and find a great gift for Hanukkah. Cool, 20% off. Okay, then we have do we call it Craze?
What's that?
The CRASE? Do they call it Craze?
Yeah, they call it Craze.
Craze, okay. I've heard it, I've never seen it written. Okay, Craze and Stop the Bleeding training. This is open to the public, I'm sure, for training if there should be any incident that would happen in our temple. Congregation Kol Ami is happy to announce another round of Craze, which is civilian response to active shooter events, and the Stop the Bleed training. We are conducting this training in conjunction with the Flower Mound Police and the fire departments, respectively. Craze will be Thursday, December 1st at 7 p.m., and the Stop the Bleed will be on the following Monday, December 5th at 7 p.m. This training is open to the public. Even Methodists can come to this. Open to the public. You do not have to be a member of the congregation or have a member in attendance with you. Please feel free to bring as many friends and family to this as important, to this very important training you would like. The lines are all, it could save your life or another's life. Please note there are some graphic images and events in parts of the Craze training that may be too intense for young children. And if you would like for one of us, or if you'd like to join us for one or both of these fantastic training events, please visit the website and sign up. And then one other thing that can I announce the Musar class?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yes, okay, here's another, so this is something that I think hasn't gotten out, and you can still get in on the study of it. Musar is the study of your character traits, okay? Arrogance versus humility, generosity versus selfishness. We all have these character traits that range from one end of the spectrum to the other. The study of Musar, those character traits, is started. There's a Musar class that is started, and the object is to learn ways of controlling those traits that may take over at a very inopportune time, right? Or so this study helps you. There are traits like, here's something that might feel good, is there are traits like generosity, patience, loving kindness, chesed, loving kindness. How do you make those better in your life? Making those things better will also help you in lessening the harm of the bad side, right? The more good you do, the bad side's going to eventually just kind of fade away. So it's a wonderful study of yourself, and you'll find that it relates to everybody because we all have our things going on. And it'll really, you pick it up one month and humility may be your time to concentrate on that, or you may pick it up another month and patience is what you really have to work on. So it's a wonderful study group. Sunday nights, 6 o'clock here at the temple, and I really don't feel like you can't just jump in even
No, you
now,
could-
right?
they
I
could
mean,
join
this
us
is
next
not,
week
this
if
is
you
not
would
anything
not be
that,
lost.
There's a book, Everyday Holiness, written by Alan Morenis, that we do, and so, join in. It's a very, it brings you wisdom and it brings you peace to have these kinds of things looked at and and worked at. So, okay, so I'm off my soapbox there. Okay, but does anybody else have anything they want to add? No? We're doing good? Okay, Misha Berach list for those that in need of healing, whether in body or in spirit. Our list is Joanne Barnes, Joyce Bloom, Natalie Bovino, Karen Brown, Ralph Hoddes, Sandy Cook, Mark Davis, Nancy Enneman, Harry Enneman, Francine Feingold, Michelle Griffith, Carol Jones, Molly Kalig, John Kaufman, Deb Kaufman, Lauren Koenig, Alex Koenig, Gianni LaMonica, don't believe, Deb Ledden, Richard Lenzer, Matt Levin, Phyllis Lorelli, Paul Redwood Jr., Helen Rubel, Bruce Ari, Adrian Sandler, Dale Seaver, Happy Waterman, Laura Lee Weeks, Karen Weinstein, Barry Weinstein, Carly Winishki, and Tom Wolf. Are there any other names that we want to add to the list?
Chris Hawthorne.
Thank you.
You got Arias?
Thank you.
Aaron Colton.
Thank you.
Jennifer Brown and Michelle Tower.
Thank you. Thank you. Do Methodists not have sick people or anything? Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
מי שברך אבותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו, may the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. מי שברך אמותינו מקור הברכה לאבותינו, bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
All right, we're going to enter into the concluding parts of our service. I'm going to ask you to turn to page 82, and since I pick out some likely person to participate in this, I just think of Dr. David Itkin, who made a very big volunteer offer, which I'm not sure he fully appreciates what he offered to do, but in any case, we want to honor him. Come on up here. On page 82, ladies and gentlemen, please rise.
עלינו לשבח לדור הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא עשנו כמשפחות אדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 83.
שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, הוא מושב עיקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכיב נטוזו ושכיב נטוזו וגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס סורתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום
היום והשבותה אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, בשמיים רימה, ועל הארץ אין עוד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. The leaves fall as from afar. They fall with slow and lingering descent. And in the night the heavy earth too falls, from out the stars and into the solitude. And thus all must fall. This hand of mine must fall, and the other one, it is the law. But there is one who holds the falling infinitely softly in his hand, in her hands. And so it is we take time now at the end of our service to recall with love and gratitude the names of those individuals who have died in our community, whether it be at this season in years past or in recent weeks. I begin by asking the people present, is there anyone here who has lost a loved one in the last 7 days? If you have, please share the name with us. Here at the congregation, we know of Toby Kennedy, the mother of Murray Kennedy, and Melissa Toon, friend of the Leonard family, and Cheryl Enneman Mendlinger, the cousin of Lisa Cagle, all who died this month. Is there anyone else in Shloshim, anyone who's lost a loved one in the last 30 days? And then here at Congregation Kol Ami, we think of these individuals whose yahrzeits, whose anniversaries of death occur this week. Sydney Austin, Marion Eftimi, Dolores Feit, Erwin Friedman, Anna Ledbetter, William Bill Lee, Stephen Levin, Reese Levin Becker, Dorothy Maddock, Natalie Petesh, George Rankin, Derek Redwood, Lee Sangola, Ellen Shumate, and Rosalind Steele. Is there anyone else who knows of an anniversary of death, of a yahrzeit of a loved one? The memory of all these precious people are with us now. We mingle with the sympathy with those who mourn by rising together as a community. And on page 85, we recite the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkada shemei rabba ve'alma divrach kirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayachon uvyomachon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael b'galal u'bizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach le'olam u'lamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yiturmam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata v'shbahata v'nechemata damiran be'elma. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba mim shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace, who makes peace in places far beyond our understanding, make peace for those who mourn and comfort all the bereaved among us. And let us say,
Amen.
Please be seated. Our closing song, we acknowledge those who have fought and died on behalf of great causes, but we also hope that there will come a time when this will no longer be the nature of our world, when nation shall no longer take up sword against nation, nor shall they study war anymore. And so we sing the words of Isaiah, lo yisagoy el goy cherev.
לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עול מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עול מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עול מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עול מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עול מלחמה.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And just to alert the Methodists that they should come and eat with us.